The topic of this panel is Connected Ethiopia, and of course, connectivity means different things to different people. It could mean connectivity through transportation, roads, railways, airways, things of that sort. It can also mean, as in this panel, digital connectivity. We're going to talk about how these different kinds of connectivity can overlap and reinforce one another. So my first question to each of our speakers is, tell us a little bit about yourself, your work, and what kind of activities you're doing in the area of connectivity, interconnectivity. Teshome, let's start with you.
Thank you, Dr. Madam. My name is Teshome, and I'm coordinating the Ethiopian Internet Exchange Point. We call it ADIX. So ADIX is a kind of consortium that has been organized or initiated by some volunteer consortiums, including me. It's a new entity that has been organized for the last 8 months, but has not been yet announced officially. It's a pre-announcement. So this is a kind of infrastructure platform that is used to connect internet service providers, content service providers, and other entities in a way that to have a common platform for the internet exchange. So, as you may know, all of you, that Ethiopia doesn't have any internet exchange point yet. There are so many reasons that was not. One of the reasons is we had a monopoly telecom service provider, but now it's open. So that's why we initiated this internet exchange point to make everyone involved in this ecosystem to be connected, with the objective that the cost will be much more reduced, and of course access to internet will be much more promising for the local content. And of course, one of the reasons is latency, which is the speed is much important for the quality of service. So within that, we have initiated this platform, and of course, it is hosted in Ethiopia. And really, thanks for my colleagues that did this volunteers initiative. So that's it, and I will go through it with any questions area. Thank you.
Great, thanks. Let's turn now to Mr. Mulugeta from Ethiopian Railway Corporation. Tell us a bit about maybe the breadth and depth of the network's connections and how digital connects with this.
Thank you very much. My name is Shewangizaw. I work for Ethiopian Railways Corporation as the manager of new business development department. You know, as you know, that the railway investment is a huge investment. And one of the routes from Addis to Djibouti, it was $5.6 billion. And also it's excluding right of way billions of births. See, without digital transformation, very difficult to do the job. There is areas of around 8, 9 areas on the digital transformation of the railway sector. The one is implementation of Internet of Things. We are on the verge of implementing this, but this needs, as you said before, public-private partnership. It's not an easy undertaking. We have projects on public-private partnership. It took us almost 2.5 years, almost 3 years. Now on the verge of implementing this project. It's also part of the Internet of Things, and it's also a digitalization of different systems. Therefore, you know, the first thing in this area, in the digitalization systems, I was not in the morning when His Excellency the Minister is talking about the digitalization, but this public-public partnership is very important in the transportation sector. That is one of the bottleneck, and also the gap. This gap also creates a digitalization, private digitalization companies to enter in. Therefore, this is one of the issue. Therefore, the other one is in different Asian and European countries using this digitalization for adaptation of predictive maintenance, especially the ballast. We are using, I will come to the smart monitoring system. Before that, I want to tell you because the railway system. The railway is very everyday predictive maintenance and also checking all the line, whether it's 1,000 or 3,000 kilometers, should be done during the night before starting a train to travel using freight or passengers, whatever. Therefore, this adaptation of predictive maintenance, we are using the fiber optics. This also needs technology and finance. Now we are on the verge of this hard currency problem. Therefore, this is one of the issues to implement. This also needs a private sector involvement. The other one, intelligent ticketing systems. Already, I think this is almost on the implementation stage. Now you are now awkward system. You are ticketing, and people are going, where is the ticket office, and making them travel, you see. With this huge investment, we are not trying to retrieve the revenue from the passengers. And other thing also, you see, this, the public or public-private partner together and make this transportation system digital. That's the digital twin technology, you see. This is a multimodal. We are on the verge of establishing multimodal system because railway needs a multimodal and also logistics hub. We have two huge logistics hubs. One is the public-private partnership in the Indot, already finished. I'm leading that project. We already finished down at the verge of approval by the PIP board. It's a mini cabinet. I think it will be approved, and then the private sector will involve. It's a lucrative business. In this system, we have the 24 functions, not like dry port. Don't think dry port is one of unique in the East Africa. Nobody implements such kind of project. It took us 4 years to reach to this stage. This needs auto digitalization, and this system more than 24 function. Even in Alibaba, whatever, Amazon can enter in that system of logistic infrastructure. We have this system to either the private sector to involve directly with the SPV, that's special purpose of vehicle. And one is at Daridawa, which is in Malkajabdu. Already the feasibility study is nearly to complete. This is also a logistic hub, also has different functions like indoor. Therefore, it's also private sector involvement. All these hubs interconnect the industrial park, the dry port, and also free trade zone. All these need digitalization. Therefore, at this stage, the railway system functions well. Now, per day, one freight is going to Djibouti, one is returning. If you go to Kenya, from Mombasa up to Nairobi, even to Uganda, per day, 7 trains. We are using one because of digitalization problem and rail link, and also road to rail link. This also undergoing these constructions, and altogether, this is will be one of the functions. Let us come to smart monitoring control. That is signaling and communication system. Already it's at the start. That signaling and communication system is there. It's working with fiber optics, and we are monitoring all trains, the activities, any safety, security is controlled by that. The stations and the resources will be managed by this digital system. This is under operation to be fully functional with the
Can we come to those points later?
Yeah,
we'll finish one round of questions.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Yeah. It's always good to hear perspective from other sectors other than digital. It's very key that we have a good transportation system as well. And railways can do a lot for ICTs. ICTs can do a lot for railways. So it goes both ways. Let's turn now to Tigist Kebede from Habeshaview Technology and Media. So what's connectivity mean for you as a digital media?
Well, good evening or good afternoon. Everybody's a bit tired at the moment. But just for those who don't know what Habeshaview does, I don't know why you wouldn't know, but we are the first IPTV service provider in Ethiopia. We work with both Safaricom and Ethio Telecom. The company started in 2015 in the US, and we're here. So digital transformation in Ethiopia has actually made our job and our company much more able. From starting with, obviously, IPTV, as you know, the closest I can think of is Amazon Prime Video. We have films, news, audio channels, games, children's programs, sport. In order to be able to watch all these on our application, which are all in-house made, we need internet connection, we need payment system, we need the infrastructure which is currently available in Ethiopia. When we started the business outside of Ethiopia, it was very easy for us, but the last transformation of both Telebir and M-Pesa and other digital payment system has made it much easier for us. So the transformation in Ethiopia for us from not only the internet, the 4G and the 5G accessibility, the penetration of smart mobile devices, as well as digital ID, all these have contributed for a company like ours or many other to prosper. Now, I think in terms of what else can it be done, affordability of data, competition, collaboration, all those will be helpful. And then I'll come into content creation, which also requires digital. So nowadays, as we all know about AI and such like, it may take the job, it might take my job away or my creatives away, but it's a way forward. It makes it much more affordable for content creators to be in Ethiopia or anywhere else in Africa to be able to access those other medium of creating content internationally. It's made the world much closer, easier to understand. Education, I was talking to somebody earlier who is in education startup. They're looking at platforms and accessibility. The digital transformation, because we're talking about Ethiopia at the moment, has made it easier for startups and companies to start off without having to invest huge amount in building their own IP type or anything like that. So that's kind of my roundabout of way saying that.
Great, thanks. One of the big themes of this conference, of course, is accelerating digital transformation. So my question of each of you, will begin with you, is what are some challenges that you're facing and how can we overcome these challenges so that you can accelerate with IPTV and content and infrastructure?
I think without going into regulation and what works and what doesn't work, because that's a longer topic, I think accelerating it, in our business, I think to accelerate it, we have to have a lot more content. For example, the creativity I've discussed about. At the moment, if people are aware of it, to make one content, such like a feature film, it takes weeks, months, sometimes years. That is actually working in a traditional way. With the digital availability now, it's easier to create content within a week or within a month. It would be the same quality, probably wouldn't be the same quality, but it's as good as or even better. Within the context of Ethiopia, I think especially when we look at importing any technology products is very difficult, which means bringing cameras, such like are very difficult, but using smartphone 4G, 5G connections means that access is getting very easier, and the continuity of the infrastructure being built by the telcos here makes it much more easier for people who are creating content for us. For the consumer, makes it cheaper and easier to access.
Great, thanks. Shewangizaw, can you pick one challenge that you're facing as a railway development company business manager, and how would you overcome that?
Yeah. One of the challenge is, the public partnership, you see. Railway is just considered as multimodal, Therefore, the shipping logistics and also the private transit companies and the maritime, Ministry of Transport, for example, the industrial park, whatever, it's integrating, regional interconnections. Therefore, this should have, shared vision and also strategy and planning to make all resource, because a railway company cannot afford all this finance alone to digitalize, transform digitalization. Therefore, all this resource, the government should enforce or aware to make this shared vision and strategy and planning and to work together for digital transformation. This is one of the challenges. Thank you.
Teshome, in your case, internet exchange points play a very important role in any country for that matter. In the case of Ethiopia, is there something holding back more exchange points, and what can be done to accelerate more internet exchange points in Ethiopia?
Yeah. As I said earlier, there is no question about the importance of internet exchange in Ethiopia. And of course, the question is how we can establish and how we can convince all the players in this ecosystem. So that was the kind of challenge. So there are a number of several models in the world. You know, just for your information, it's a very few countries that they don't have internet exchanges. One of them is Ethiopia. So there are several models how internet exchange was established in each country. So we wanted to choose which one is appropriate for Ethiopia, and that was a kind of process that we have gone. And of course, we chosen a kind of consortium, which is to be an open, transparent, and accessible for everyone. So it's an internet exchange, which is driving also the digital transformation of Ethiopia. Of course, is one of the platforms to be connecting every ISPs and content service providers. So within that aspect, and it's clear that having an internet exchange here is just we will minimize the outgoing internet connectivity. Just for your information, Ethiopia by this time is almost 1.6 terabyte of outgoing internet. So if we reduce this with some percentage, like 30, 50, it's a number of cost reduction. And of course, that will also reduce the internal connectivity, access point, local content service providers, and of course, international connect service providers. Within that aspect, it has a very tremendous advantage, and it is part and parcel of the digital transformation program in Ethiopia, and it is of course timely, as we have many internet service providers in Ethiopia. If we connect them within one platform, they can exchange content and they can exchange everything instead of going abroad. So coming to the point, and it can be one of the platforms or the ecosystem where the government of Ethiopia and of course the private sector are working with, and it's all accessible to everyone. So I think that's what I want to say.
I got one last question before we wrap up for the day. Tomorrow morning, by the way, we're beginning with a very interesting panel on future networks, moderated by Newell. That's going to be another very good panel. So I thought we would end today also by looking at the future, so sort of we can connect today to tomorrow's agenda. So my question for each of our panelists now, and I will begin with you, Tigist, is what are some technologies you have your eye on for the future, which are going to transform perhaps the whole IPTV business? You know, we talked a lot about AI and content platforms and generative platforms and so on. So what do you have on your radar? And if I come back to you next year, what will have changed because of these technologies?
I think when we spoke maybe 2 years ago, we were in the process of building our own streaming platform, so which we are very happy now that we have, so we own all the rights. AI is obviously a very big topic as we speak, and I have spoken with our kind of tech people. We're also talking about integrating that into our system. You know, we are continuously developing, and that would be one of those to visit. I am not a technology person, but in terms of how do we improve next year, I think we will have a lot more content that was AI generated maybe, and also created in a short period of time, that it doesn't take a year or 200 or 1,000 people to create. That doesn't mean that we don't want to keep employing people, because obviously we can't avoid having people working with us. It will be, updating the system. Security is a big feature. I think content, most people understand that, at the moment within Ethiopia, content is really pirated quite a lot, as it is internationally. More so here because the creators don't benefit from it. So we are focusing very heavily within the security infrastructure. We currently have good security, but that's the one we're going to be concentrating on. The more content we have, the more trusted platform we become, we need to be protecting the security of the content. So we'll be looking at AI again, but also the security is the major factor that we'll be looking at.
Fantastic. This, by the way, is one of the most interesting topics these days, the impact of AI on creativity. How do we create new kinds of content? Who owns the data points which led to the generation of this content? How do you compensate the people who created those original data points and so on? So along with this, there's another whole basket which opens up of data privacy, data regulation, data ownership, and so on, but we can talk about that tomorrow. Let's turn now to Shewangizaw.
Yes.
In your case, from the railways point of view, what are some interesting technologies you have your eye on?
Advanced digital.
Yes.
You see, in the railway sector, still we are not implementing all, I think there is 8 or 9 areas of digitalization, transformation, of digital transformation. You see, then this smart monitoring control needs to improve more to manage resources at stations around the route as well, especially on transit-oriented development to predict. That's the digital twin technology that's integrating the railway system, still not implemented. We are now in the verge of constructing, infrastructures like logistics hub at the stations, and also working with the other private sectors to facilitate this multimodal, to get this private, public establishment of multimodal company, a joint venture. Still needs digital companies to involve with us. We have ample. That's also, the cybersecurity, one of the area, still needs cybersecurity companies to involve with us because it's very sensitive. You see, there is different items of cargos will be transported. Therefore, this adulteration and other security issues also will be protected by cybersecurity. And also, that's the data-driven performance optimization technology. If it's, we need that one as well. Do you hear me? The other one is the customer experience enhancement, implementing Wi-Fi connectivity. We have the fiber optics. We are not also experts on connecting fiber optics to station Wi-Fi and also the train Wi-Fi system. Therefore, we need also this kind of systems, and especially upgrading the monitoring system, the digital signal digitalization. Thank you.
Great. Thanks. Let's turn to Teshome now. Teshome, looking at your internet exchange point of view, what are some technologies that might speed up or enhance or enable the creation of an internet exchange point?
To be honest, as far as internet exchange is concerned, we're not as such using a very sophisticated technology. What we have is we have a kind of a layer 2 fabric switch, and of course we have some routing servers and as the related transmission and communication devices. So it's a simple technology whereby all the digital traffic is to be connected. It's used as a hub. So the technology that is being used is at the backside of members or the clients to be connected. So of course, this needs a kind of management. We are managing traffic. We have to optimize traffic, and we have to monitor traffic, and of course we have to monitor the security system. So as far as new technologies like AI is concerned, it's a new concept whereby it is being discussed by everyone. We will be forced to use this AI technology, but not now. It's just, as I said, we are just starting now. We have not even optimize it, which one is better or which one is not good. So definitely, AI technology is our tool. It's a tool. It will be used just straightforward, a kind of traffic prediction or peer prediction or security. So it's used as a human being, like we may be assigning a kind of network manager or system manager. So the expected services to be managed by a human being will be maybe replaced with AI. So it's not as such, sophisticated technology. And maybe when someone says internet exchange, it's a kind of switch. But the only thing that we have to provide service for who are interested to be serving in this switch, so as they can be communicated well, they can communicate their content. It's a kind of democratizing the internet to keep the content staying here in Ethiopia instead of going away, and to reduce the cost and to make accessible for everyone. So technology is one thing, but we are using the existing technology. Of course, the version or everything will be changed. Not now, but we're in a sense that technology is important. We are managing as well as the existing technologies.
Fantastic. That's a great insight, which is not just about technology, but the business model behind it, the service delivered, and the governance of the whole thing, not just technology. Great insight. You want to add something? You have the last word. Yeah.
No, you asking me?
Yeah. Do you have anything to add? We're out of time now, unless you have something to add in terms of technology.
Something to add is, see, we need private companies or whatever to avail finance and to work with us, in digitalization. See, the only thing is hard currency to implement. Therefore, the private sector, if have this availing finance from any type of international financing companies, they can work with us in digitalization, especially on the logistics hubs, multimodal, digitalize the multimodal system, and also the train monitoring system, and there is additional business as well. Therefore, don't afraid. You can come with us and discuss with us, and then you can open the door, how we work together, and how can you finance together, and then, avail finance together.
Great, thanks.
Only thing is, yes. Thank you.
Thanks. So that's a good way to end the note, which is a call to collaboration for people to invest more in the ICT sector and other sectors like railways.